Welcome back to Gatekeeper Media's coverage of the 2023 Skåne Open. I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Max Regitnig.
How's it going, guys?
This is the first event of the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour of 2023, and we have been on a gorgeous course. We've seen lots of great putts, great throws. Max, what are we looking for on this back nine?
Yeah, wind definitely a factor here at Bulltofta, and round 2 and 3 has definitely been evident, but a lot of birdies from this lead card, so we're going to see some good golf in the back nine.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 clean sheets, and I want to note we saw lots of partners of the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour. This is a whole community effort, and it takes a village, it takes an entire country to put this darn thing on.
Yeah, looking good. Hole 10, par 5, 252 meters. A lot of options off the tee, but you want to keep it center cut on this fairway. Pretty thick rough on both sides. Second shot up to the pin. I mean, sloped off to the right, but pretty thick rough everywhere. So keep this on the fairway. Should have a pretty reasonable birdie opportunity.
See wind from left to right. Fritiof Fagergren trying to counteract that with an overstable disc, able to stay on the fairway. That'll set him up for probably not an eagle look, but a pretty manageable birdie if he executes properly.
I mean, has a pretty good angle on that second shot. If he wants to get aggressive, he could probably go for the eagle, but Gustav one shot back, so I mean, doesn't need to do too much. He's 4 down on the round, so he just needs to keep that going.
We saw Hjalmar Fredriksson, young player, left-handed, pull it into the rough on the left. And here's Josef Berg, good position shot, not going for too much.
Yeah, it looked like he clubbed down on that. I think that's his Rico X. Yeah, just opting for optimal position on the fairway to open up that angle in the second shot.
And Gustav Dahlén, we'll need this to check up, and it does. Fortunate to have the slope there that plays down from left to right.
Yeah, Hjalmar having to maneuver through those bushes. Right-hand flick. We've seen that from him a couple times, so not too surprising, but getting down the fairway a little bit, should be able to get up to the basket on his third shot.
Likely a big lefty turnover.
Gustav not trying to chew off too much on that second shot, but keeps it in the fairway.
Fritiof going to check his feet. Again, when moving from left to right.
Looks like he has driver in hand, but maybe a pretty controlled fairway driver, keeping it low on that fairway. But getting out to the opening, probably has a pretty easy, maybe even just a jump putt left for an up and down for the birdie.
Yeah, good job keeping the disc flat, hugging that right side, and then a touch of finish on the end of it.
Josef going big on that second shot, gets it up in the air, good amount of turn on it. Looks like it's coming back nicely. Maybe just a little short for the eagle look, but definitely should be an easy up and down for his birdie.
That was big. You can see how he sets himself up with his feet to get big hip action.
Yeah, Josef, very impressive backhand form. Definitely a lot of potential for the power. And showing it there.
A middle shot for Hjalmar.
Yeah, not quite getting a short putt for his par save, but I guess that's his birdie, so might be able to save the birdie after all. Gustav getting up to the dance floor there. Maybe 4 or 5 meter birdie putt for Gustav. And this is all that's left for Fritiof, wide open, nose up putter shot, nicely done.
And it seemed like over the last few holes, he's grabbed the momentum and the lead.
He's looking comfortable. Not doing anything crazy, keeping it in the fairway. I mean, back-to-back great upshots, setting up short birdie putts, taking advantage of, not a slow start by Gustav, but 1 down on the front 9. I'm sure he would want a little more than that.
So, sometimes you can have a good start but not score.
Yeah, Gustav getting a lot of opportunities, but miscuing on those putts, but Hjalmar not able to save the par. Short look for Gustav, and finds the heart of change for his second birdie of the round.
Yeah, nicely done. Just kind of bit off a manageable amount on every shot, and then a good 5 or 6 meter putt to finish.
Yeah, a couple of these par fives, not big total distance, but again, needing to have position on the fairway to open up those angles on the second and third shots.
Hole 11, 78 meters, going to play a little bit uphill, but a pretty severe ground slope down from left to right. The tunnel is net straight, and we've seen both forehands and backhands in the first couple rounds from our competitors.
Yeah, very tight early, but kind of opens up by the basket. So just get through this first corridor and hopefully a birdie putt.
Pretty good release, but looked like some wind drag pulled that over to the right. Fritiof makes it about halfway down.
Yeah, unfortunately, not likely to continue that birdie streak he had going. Josef, very nice pull there. A little short, but birdie putt on this hole, you're definitely pleased.
You see Josef get it above the basket, and the ground helps move him back down.
Gustav looking to take some out of that one, but wow, gets a nice kick.
Lycka till.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Hjalmar unfortunately hitting first available, and that might be a tough lie. I'm not sure if he was able to roll out of there or if we missed an upshot there, but maybe he was fortunate enough to get that action out, but unfortunately got some action back into the rough.
It seems like the wheels are coming off a little bit for Hjalmar, and as a young player, when things are going great, they're going great, but when they start going wrong, it's like the game speeds up on you.
Yeah, sometimes tough to stop the bleeding. You get those emotions going, and yeah, sometimes just tough to keep an even keel. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Hjalmar having some unfortunate basket action with his putts, maybe feeling like he's made a lot of putts that he should have and didn't get rewarded for it, but you really do have to keep an even emotion through these tournaments.
And nonetheless, a solid putt, even though it is a double bogey. We saw Josef get his second birdie in a row. Fritiof cleans up a par. And this will be Gustav to get to 15 overall as well.
Yeah, looking like a good battle here between Gustav, Josef, and Fritiof. And we're only on hole 11, so a lot of golf left. So looking forward for this battle.
And a good stick.
Hole 12, really tight, par 3, 83 meters, bending left to right. This left side rough comes in pretty quick, so you want to get something turning pretty early and navigating away through these trees, getting a putt. Tall task, but we've seen backhands, forehands. Hjalmar being the lefty, maybe open up that gap with a backhand, but anything you're comfortable with for sure.
Josef with a flat release and a flippy disc. The wind then drags it further to the right. So he's probably somewhere in circle 2.
Yeah, a little early there. Gustav going with forehand. I like that hyzer release. I think you need to get that forehand moving right pretty quick, not to bring that left side trees into play.
What kind of stability are you thinking there?
I mean, 83 meters isn't too far. So, I mean, whether or not you're throwing a more stable disc harder or a flippier disc softer, really whatever you're comfortable shaping the shot with. Fritiof unfortunately straightening that one out and hitting the left side trees. And Hjalmar, that looked really smooth, really controlled, and he is rewarded with a birdie putt.
Yeah, you can't quite count on the ground play. There's some scattered objects just inside the circle, but well done by Hjalmar. And a credible upshot there.
Yeah, Gustav, long look at the birdie, has a chance to get another one back from Fritiof. Looks like a pretty clean line.
And that was gorgeous, just centimeters low.
Great looking putt there, but unfortunately coming up short. Josef didn't have much on that putt. Early right, looking like a lot of trees to deal with. Hjalmar getting back on track with that birdie. Had a couple rough holes there, but nice up and down there.
I think if you're Hjalmar, you need to just acknowledge that you're getting some really good experience and such on this final round card, and do everything you can just to play good holes from here on out. You can't get rid of those other holes. You just play better ones now.
I just think the plastic is very premium. It's a high quality material. The way the disc feels in my hand.
I think it's the quality of plastic.
It's unlike any other plastic that you'll find in the industry.
The quality is better than any other company out there.
Again, just consistent plastic. It's something I can consistently trust on every single throw.
There's so many discs to choose from, and I guarantee if you tried every disc in the lineup, you're gonna wanna put multiple discs in your bag.
It's extremely high quality. You can only say so much, they have to eventually just try it themselves and see.
Hole 13, 131 meters. Most of it's going to play flat in this valley, and then a pretty severe uphill with a whole bunch of scattered trees in and around the landing zone. We've seen a couple different approaches here, either to play aggressive and just get as far as you can, making the second shot short, or trying to get to a sweet spot landing zone just to the left of center.
Yeah, it seems like you're always going to have to battle with a few trees, but both options definitely has some perks. Hjalmar going big. That was beautiful. Getting up to that upslope. Should only have like jump putt left up to the pin.
And just about as far uphill as he is distance-wise, right?
Yeah, but really good action on that driver. Panning out to the left. Josef a little too much there. I think you want to be finishing to the left to open up that upshot. Josef maybe not putting enough hyzer on that. Gustav a similar shape, but getting some nice action up into the bowl.
So far, everybody has tried to play a hyzer release to stand up. Do you think that's trying to keep the disc net straight for as long as possible?
For sure. On this course, a lot of the rough just gets really rough really quick. So getting down this fairway and not having that big flare skip at the end can save you some strokes.
Mm-hmm. Josef, after getting caught up earliest among our group, still has a pretty simple standstill forehand into the circle.
Yeah, Josef has nice power on that forehand approach game, so not surprised that a standstill from that distance was not that hard for him. And Gustav getting up there very nicely as well, finding a window up to the pin.
Fritiof having to go anhyzer release to slow flex out, and once you're up there, you got to put the brakes on in a hurry.
Yeah, he put some nice nose up angle on that upshot and floated in really nicely. Got the pace perfect. And yeah, Hjalmar just a jump putt left and cans it for the two.
Outrageous.
I'm pretty sure he couldn't see the pin from there, so that was a remarkable effort from Hjalmar. Great to see him fighting back in this round, finding some positives.
And when it's that blind, you're just going on the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Sounds like they had a few fans there giving him some love. And we got 3 birdies and a eagle on this card. So very well done.
Take a birdie, lose the box.
All right, hole 14, 135 meter par 4. You have the option to go for the green from the tee, but island green, yeah, is it early for the risk? But lead card final round, if you're feeling it, maybe now's the time to get that extra stroke.
And Max, you've told me that at some times this has been the final hole of a tournament instead.
Yeah, I do like that aspect of it, to have that risk reward late in the round. But hole 14, maybe it's early enough that you feel like you can kind of have a heat check moment where you can go for it and then still work back up to it for the rest of the holes. But Hjalmar, unfortunately, not getting the height on that shot as he was going for the pin, and comes up short in the water.
So he will proceed to a drop zone. Josef will proceed to his second shot in the fairway. Gustav also going to do the same with the layup play.
Looks like he got enough left to not be cut off by that bush as Anders was in round 2. Both Gustav and Josef should have pretty clean looks at the basket. Fritiof going a little more left, but a little further than Gustav, so again, probably has a pretty open up shot, as we see here.
I'm thinking 3 righty backhands from these positions.
Yeah, Josef definitely opts for that back or forehand upshot quite often, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls that one out. But Gustav leaking a little left, but safe. So he has a chance at birdie still there.
And this needs to glide. It does, and will be a birdie opportunity. The difficulty in throwing that straight shot is you start riding the water line at some point, and you can't hang it out wide right because of the trees that are out of bounds, right?
Yeah, this green I think is very well designed. The slope, the OB, the bushes on the right, it all kind of keeps you honest. And Josef, unfortunately, putting that upshot in the air, and it glides out to the left, so left with a lengthy putt.
Hjalmar with an excellent recovery shot from the drop zone. He will drop in a 4.
Josef looked like a floaty bid. Maybe wasn't too keen on giving that a full run. Fritiof, pretty death putt. I mean, staring at the water.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, unfortunately splashes out left and finds that OB water.
And as close as this basket is, he's virtually dropping in. That's a tough pill to swallow after throwing 2 really solid shots.
Yeah, down the stretch, opting for the more conservative birdie play. And yeah, unfortunately, we didn't see Gustav's putt there. Maybe saw him lay up and thought that this was a chance to get an extra stroke, but...
Hole 15, 93 meters, playing a little bit uphill. There's out of bounds to the left, right, and especially long. We've seen forehands or other counterclockwise spins, as well as some mid-range turnovers. Hjalmar going to play the lefty backhand, and he kind of gets to play the one-angle shot. That's the privilege here, right?
Yeah, looked very comfortable with that backhand hyzer, gave it a lot of height, and looks like he puts it really close, so gets rewarded. Josef opting for the forehand. A lot of power. Maybe a little lower than he wants, but gets a lot of ground play. Skips up into the circle.
He seemed very committed to the hyzer to make sure that it went right. Gustav also going to take the forehand play. And this is pretty inside.
Yeah, sawed that off a little bit, but maybe a quick enough disc to get all the way up to the basket before it big flare skip to the right.
And Fritiof, love it. Very well thrown. Keeps it outside the first light post. Good correction off of the others.
Yeah, he liked that one out of the hand as he turned around, Michael Johansson-esque.
And as you speculated, Gustav was able to get to a putting position with a fast disc, but cannot convert on the putt. Josef taking an extra moment here to reset, think about the wind, and manages the heady cross nicely.
Nice hit. Yeah, you see those flags in the background whipping pretty strong, so surely had some wind to think about there.
This is the downhill putt with a lifting wind for Fritiof. And I don't care for that.
Yeah, a lot of chains. Obviously had a bit of a head right to left wind, so maybe once that got stopped by the chains, it was, yeah, the wind had a different idea of making that putt, but unfortunate miss from Hjalmar and a pretty lengthy comebacker. Maybe not taking the time to focus and get the emotions in check. Hjalmar's definitely had a roller coaster of a round, but had some really nicely played holes as of late, so unfortunate to see him have a miscue like that.
And that one also going to chain out right side.
Yeah, getting a lot of chain action, maybe just kind of losing faith in his putt, like feeling like he's doing everything right and maybe not getting the score that he should, that he's earned. So tough position when you maybe blaming the equipment and rather than your preparation.
Why disc golf? It's the people. It's fun.
It's being in nature.
It's the lucky shots.
It's the feeling.
It's different.
It's the challenge. It's the throws.
So come out.
Grab a disc.
Or two. And let it fly with Lone Star Disc.
Hole 16, par 4, 205 meters, not too far for a par 4, but we have this alley of hazard right to left, so you really have to keep it in the middle of the fairway to set up a left to right turning upshot into this green. Josef with a nice hyzer flip, a little high in the air, so it might have time to fade out to the hazard area, which looks like he has.
Likely to see a much wider, more dedicated hyzer out of Gustav after seeing that result. This is an extra wide tee pad, huh?
Yeah, Bulltofta, I think these were the same tee pads in from when I played it, so I mean they've put the time into making. Scratch that. This definitely is a new tee pad. This is massive. I did not realize how big this thing was.
Gustav going to make the same mistake as Josef. Now with two wind reads. Fritiof going to flip it over too much, and that kind of blocks him out. He won't really have the opportunity to have a straight look at the basket.
Yeah, that's not a good spot, especially already taking that stroke penalty with the hazard. He'll be definitely blind to the pin, but should be able to at least get around the corner. And Hjalmar putting that one into the ground. Definitely not building the confidence here. Missing a few putts in the last hole and not able to get clean off the tee.
And from that position, doesn't give it quite the width it needs to push the gap, and will be having to scramble, throwing 4. Josef, very overstable disc, and hyzer release, playing for full flex. And doesn't appear to be able to fight out. Will be OB again.
Yeah, there's a lot of angles there from Josef. Not sure if the wind has died down, but when you introduce a lot of those angles, it gives opportunity for the wind to do a lot of work to the disc.
Fritiof playing very high and wide.
Look to come up a little short, so might have a lengthy putt for his par.
And Hjalmar, I don't think there's anything good from here, but is going to try to do something with it, getting a favorable roll towards the basket.
Yeah, basically rolled along that OB line, was able to get inside the circle for a look. And here's Josef after going out of bounds. Great hit.
So throws it only 3 times, but will take a bogey.
Yeah, unfortunately, hazard stroke, OB stroke, but I mean, great putt to maybe build some confidence in the last 2 holes.
Fritiof, that was for his 4. And a good scramble for Hjalmar from very out of position, also going to take a bogey.
Gustav able to get up and down for the par from the hazard area. And Fritiof unfortunately coming up with a bogey, but I mean, yeah, he was pretty pinched off there to the right in that hazard area.
Hole 17, 87 meters. Not a whole lot of danger here. The key is making sure that you've committed to get the correct distance and know what kind of ground play you're going to get. Likely to see mid-ranges playing for a little bit of skip and scoot.
Yeah, very low from Gustav, getting a nice little skip. And I mean, yeah, it looks like this grass you could get that little Velcro, but Gustav getting a lot of ground action there up into the circle for a birdie look.
Kind of see that this tee pad is elevated, then you're throwing over a valley, and then the ground in front of the basket goes back up. It's difficult to get that ground play to continue running.
Great shape from Josef, unfortunately squaring up that last tree. Looked like he executed his shot just how he liked it. Just, yeah, unfortunately right into that last tree. Fritiof didn't look like he was too comfortable after that shot, but was able to find his way up to the green.
Yeah, seemed like he hated his footwork. I wish my bad footwork got results like that. And
Hjalmar flirting with the ceiling there a little bit, but yeah, getting all the way up there for the birdie putt.
all right, Josef, knowing that Gustav is closer, would really like to sink this.
Yeah, Gustav with a 1-stroke lead over Josef right now. Josef definitely has to put the pedal to the metal. I'm sure he really wanted to capitalize on that.
And great stick by Hjalmar, just keeps it on line.
Yeah, I really like his putting stroke. Very, I mean, seems nonchalant, but very direct and, yeah, just smooth, a lot of power.
It comes out with way more heat than it looks like he's putting into it.
Yeah.
Very good putt by Gustav. Moves him to 17 under overall.
Yeah, extends his lead over Josef. Fritiof able to get a two-way tie with Josef for second if he can hit this putt.
And those scores reflect what's happening on our card in particular. The ranks next to their names. We'll take a look at the overall leaderboard at the end. But very nicely done by Fritiof.
Yeah, nice to see him be able to bounce back from that bogey. Yeah, gaining some experience in these big tournaments. Hole 18, last hole of the tournament. 77-meter par 3, little downhill. Got a Mando forcing you to the left gap. Left to right turning a little bit, but pretty much straightforward. Elevated basket. We might see some fireworks with some longer putts, but hopefully these guys can keep it close.
Gustav playing the turnover, not messing with that Mando at all, and gets himself about 6 or 7 meters. Fritiof going to go forehand, trying to do the same thing.
Great looking shot there. Nothing, never really was in trouble. Just perfect line. Had some good speed on it and able to get it right in close.
Hjalmar, very nicely done.
Yeah, these guys are making it look easy. I don't know if the winds died down or, I mean, this is the lead card. Josef looks like he's got a Betty in hand. A little hyzer flip. Not quite flipping and riding, but got it all the way down there, but he's definitely got some trees to deal with here.
And difficult to do a full send spin putt when you're putting in an elevated basket. We see a layup from Gustav and a couple of dunks incoming.
So yeah, Gustav certainly keeping an eye on the scores, knowing that he has a couple strokes to play with. Didn't want to do anything crazy on this elevated basket, and able to take home the win. I think Josef and Fritiof were the closest to battling with Gustav for the win, so it was nice to see him being able to kind of ride it out with Fritiof making a good push and Josef right there. Good battle.
Yeah, nicely done. Our champion of the 2023 Skåne Open, Gustav Dahlén. Max, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate your bringing the Swedish knowledge of the scene. You see Fritiof and Josef taking those podium finishes as well, and a lot of other folks having themselves great tournaments.
Yeah, really good to see.
That's the first event here. Here is our Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour standings for 2023.
Yeah, really good to see some familiar Swedish names on this leaderboard. And yeah, great to see some high-level disc golf in Sweden.
Tack så mycket for joining us, and we certainly hope that you'll follow Gatekeeper Media as we cover the lead card of the rest of the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour in 2023.